Hello, good afternoon. It is Sunday. It's time for me to service you. Here I am at kitchen table. Where are you all joining me from today, the 6th of June at 12 noon? At kitchen table in Haslingden. How are we? I have had an absolutely bloody belting week off. Anybody joining me on today's Sunday service? Anybody? Let me know where you're watching me from. Can't see anybody joining at the minute and I can't see any comments. But that's okay, because maybe you are busy with family and friends, enjoying a little bit of the nice weather, and maybe you're cooking a Sunday roast and you're out busy. But it's time for Sunday service and I'm here. And so is Gemma Ogden in Gloucestershire. Afternoon in Cardiff, Claire. Hello, Juliet Grace in York. So people are now jumping on. They must have been alerted. Michelle Leeds says, good morning from Alabama. Well, good afternoon from Haslingden. But good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching me from. And Demando, it says, hello from London. Amanda Wilson says, yay, yay, indeed, I am back. It is time for Sunday service. I have had an incredibly fabulous week off. Can't tell you how full my heart feels. Olivia was home with her partner and with Hartley Blue, and we just spent every single day together. We were up as soon as the birds were singing and we weren't going to bed until the early hours. So it's been an incredibly long, tiring week, but it's been absolutely wonderful. We celebrated birthdays and Easter and Christmas and New Year. It's been wonderful. I missed a hair appointment because I didn't want to go to the hair appointment because Olivia was here. And this is what happens when I have to look after my own hair. Good afternoon, Lindsay and Tyler. Hello in Plymouth. Hello, Leanne Mills. So people are now joining me, and that's good because I have retrieved some Sunday services. And once again, yeah, this is what happens when I don't let the magicians do anything to my hair. This is it. Yeah, you wouldn't be wrong in thinking I am Brian May and Hagrid's love child. And I did have an absolutely splendid time with Olivia, I really did. But back to it now. Maggie is at the beach in the Isle of Wight. And Dean McChrystal, hello and good afternoon to you. Good afternoon in Shropshire. Wendy Donnelly's also watching. And Jerry Johnnet McKinley in Tennessee. Hello everybody, and thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me to have that wonderful week off. Hello, Tammy Penny. But I'm back now. So without further ado, shall we crack on? Once again, any advice I give on today's show is purely for entertainment purposes. If anybody does comment on your comments with gift competition like you are a winner, please click the link here. It is absolutely a scam. Okay, and depending how this goes, because I do have a Zoom call booked in, depending on when the lady wants to ring me, I'm setting up a call. I will be jumping on the gram for Ask Me Anything. Okie dokie, dear Aunty Nelly, I have been having an affair with a man. He's married with 2 children and I am single. Oh, now then. I gave him an ultimatum as it started to affect my mental health. To my surprise, he chose to stay with his wife. Surprise, surprise, that old chestnut. I feel so rejected because he often told me that when the kids were older, we would be together. I know you'll tell me I'm stupid and that I am no side dish, but the main course. Absolutely. But I foolishly believed his every word and I have put my life on hold for him for 3 years. I know it's hard to have sympathy for what I have done, but I feel so hurt. Even though this is my fault, I wish I'd never given the ultimatum. And I can't read today. It's like I forgot how to read in a week. And then we would still be together. He's now living his best life with his wife. I see it all over social media. She is none the wiser. So I guess my question is, do I tell her because I want them to hurt like I am? Thank you. So, I think the moral of the story is there, if we give a married man an ultimatum, me or your wife, the wife's always going to win, isn't she? Because you were that side dish. He wanted his cake and eat it. He was feeding you a load of lies. Why would you want to put your life on hold on someone who is quite happy to cheat on his wife and children and who just breadcrumbs you now and again? Do you know what I mean? So why would you want to do that? So when you say that I put my life on hold for him, yeah, you have. But now's your time to start living. Do you really want to bring such bad karma into your life by upsetting his wife, by causing all this unrest in their marriage? That's up to him to deal with. You've learnt the hard way. You're now feeling rejected and you're feeling like, oh, he never loved me, we're all lies, and I feel really shit about myself, and I thought he was going to leave her and be with me, and I'm waiting for the children to grow older. Why would you do that to her? Leave her to find out in her own way. Why would you want to be the cause of breaking up a family? Why would you do that? No, you have dodged a fucking bullet, my sweetheart, and absolutely you are the main dish. You are. So never ever get yourself tied up with anybody who's already in a relationship. It's not yours to have in the first place. It never was. So whatever made you think it was going to be, I'm sure, as brutal as this may sound on a Sunday afternoon if you've got little children around your legs, but I'll try and say it nicely. I'm sure when he was still telling you what you wanted to hear and paying your lip service, I'm sure it was, yes, I love you, yes, I want to be with you, yes, when the children get older, spread them a bit wider, and a bit wider, and a bit wider. As brutal as that sounds, you won't get any sympathy for me. I'm sorry you got yourself in that situation, but thank Christ, 3 years on, you did give him the ultimatum. You found out exactly what his intentions were. So put it to bed, move on, find somebody who is single like you, okay, and try and have a relationship with somebody like that. Work a little bit on yourself, a little bit of self-care, a little bit of self-healing. These things happen. But I would definitely not for one moment be telling his wife what has happened. That's up to her to find out. So, 3 years. Oh. Would you trust him? If he actually left his wife and kids and moved in with you, would you trust him? Would you actually be able to trust him? Dear Aunty Nelly, I've been living apart from my boyfriend since the start of the pandemic. We've seen each other when things have relaxed, and we've seen each other when things relaxed, and we did FaceTime most days. My problem is, I've done an eye mask this morning, and it's right tight round here like that. I feel like I'm like that. Right, okay, so we did I can't see what I'm reading down in my gigs, hang on. We did FaceTime most days. My problem is now he's pressuring me to move in with him, as he says he can't bear the thoughts of being without me ever again. But I think my feelings have changed because I'm not feeling this. I've got used to being on my own and I feel like we've grown apart. I do love the fact that you might be able to give me some advice. What to do next? Thanks. This has happened to 103 million people here in lockdown when it happened to me, didn't it? Do you know what I mean? I broke off my engagement and cancelled my wedding and didn't want to move in with my fiancé because I actually had time to sit and think. And the pandemic has made a lot of us reevaluate what's been going on in our life. So, am I happy in my job? Am I happy in my relationship? What the fuck am I actually doing? And the pandemic made us question our mortality, didn't it? It made us think like, God, this is fucking serious shit, this. And I've just been cracking on as normal because things are habitual and we just crack on with it. I've been on my holiday, Fab Sandy. I've been on my holidays, but I'm back now, so I'll see you Wednesday night. So, you got time to sit and think. So that's what you've done. You've got time to sit and think, and you've thought, I'm actually all right, you know, because when we're in relationships and we haven't got time to sit and think, such as like forced into it with the pandemic, you start thinking about what you're doing on a Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, that's your working week, and then your weekend comes and you may see your partner, and then you're back to work, and then you may see your partner maybe a couple of days a week, then you're back to work. You don't really think about what the fuck it is you're doing. And I think the pandemic's probably done you a favour, because had you have been carrying on in your relationship, you'd probably be living together now. You might even have a ring on your finger. It's not for you. It's made you realise that that is not something that you want. Now, I know you're going to feel really cruel by saying to your partner, I think it's wonderful, and this is how you have to say it, that you love me that much and you couldn't do without me. Maria Kiss it, hello. However, I don't feel like that for you. I don't, I'm sorry. And I love you that much as a friend that I want you to meet somebody who will love you the way you think you love me, because I don't feel it. I've had a lot of time in the pandemic to think, and I don't want to jump into moving in with somebody. I don't want to live with somebody. I don't want to do it. So I'm not saying let's not be friends, but you're craving a partner to live with, and you deserve that. So I wish you the best of luck. The sooner you do it, the better, because this is just going to be on your mind and it's going to raise your anxiety. I'll put my hand up and say, I knew by the end of March that I no longer wanted to be in my relationship, and it took me till June to actually really absorb it, and then it took me a little bit later to tell him, and yeah, and it wasn't nice, and it's never nice even if it's your decision. It's never nice because it's a breakup, it's a loss, and you obviously know that you're going to cause hurt to another person, but it needs to be done. And you need to do it now. So you've been used to living on your own, you feel like you've grown apart, and I don't sometimes think we do grow apart. I don't think we had much in the first place, and that's what you've got to realise. When the pandemic come, for a lot of people, a lot of couples, when they had absolutely nothing to talk about, so you've not been at work 9 to 5, you've not got kids to talk about, bills to pay, whatever, what have you actually got? And that's when you realise that that's not your person. That's what I realised in lockdown, that that person that I'd said yes to and was going to get a house with and wear a wedding dress and marry him wasn't my person. We had absolutely nothing that I could say would keep us together. And it's sad that that's what you do next. So you ask me advice, take it or leave it. Dear Aunty Nelly, I'm grieving the loss of my grandchild. Oh, dearie me. Oh, Christ on a bike. I'm grieving the loss of my grandchild, and I'm all fucking dressed here. Fucking sort your shit out now. Right. I'm grieving the loss of my grandchild and my son-in-law. I just don't know how to feel okay with all this, or how to get over the fact that my daughter and her now ex-boyfriend aborted my grandchild. They've been together for 7 years, and I always thought they were really settled and would be together forever. They were so well suited. That's something I say, oh, aren't they well suited? I feel like my only daughter has made the worst mistake ever, and we often row about it. She took advice from friends and never ever thought of coming to me and asking me how I would feel. This is breaking my heart, as it's what every parent wants for their child to settle down. I just don't know what to do or where to turn, please. Okay, well, a little bit of me thinks it's nice when your child settles down, yeah, absolutely. But a lot of me thinks that every parent wants the child to be happy. And regardless of being a parent, when we're talking about abortion, and this is a very safe place to speak about uncomfortable things, it's her choice, it's her body, and none of us have right to pass judgment on that. A relationship ended, you don't say why, So yeah, you got used to having a son-in-law. They've been together 7 years. I get that. I totally get that. You thought, bloody hellfire, I thought he was going to be forever and now he's gone. You're also mourning the loss of your grandchild that was aborted. We don't know why that child was aborted, and neither should we be privy to that information. You're absolutely missing out here, as awful as this may sound on. You have a child, you have a daughter. Don't know how old your daughter is, but your daughter will be your daughter, your child, for the rest of your life. We never stop parenting. And the only thing we ever want for our children is for them to be happy. And no matter what choices they make in life, whether we agree with them or not, we support them as a parent. We support them. And I think you feel a bit heartbroken and you feel a bit let down that she didn't come to you. Maybe you've got such strong opinions on views on pro-choice or abortion laws or whatever, but that's probably why she didn't come to you. Because number one, she may not have wanted to upset you, and number two, she knew that you wouldn't be able to assist her in making that decision. Sometimes when people do approach you with things like that, we've got to take ourselves out the picture, okay? And we've got to try and walk in their shoes. All we ever want for our children is to be happy. So I think you need to have a conversation with your daughter and say, do you know what? I have been so selfish here and I have thought about nothing but myself, and I can only apologise, and please, 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 can you forgive me? Number one. So apologise, tell her why, because when we make an apology, it's so easy to say sorry, but you don't actually say sorry what for, and then the other person is still a little bit disgruntled. So I want to apologise to you, so make the apology, I'm sorry. Don't just say I want to apologise, say I'm sorry. And the reason I'm sorry is because I was being really selfish and I was thinking about me and missing my son-in-law and the fact that I may not have grandchildren. And I'm sorry for that. I should have been there for you to support you regardless, because you're my child and nothing else matters in this world other than you and your happiness. So I will never put you as my daughter in that situation again. How can I now support you ongoing and promise to you and hope that you'll trust me that I will never make that mistake again? And I'm sorry, I got it wrong, because parenting doesn't come with a manual, and we can get it wrong. We can get it so fucking wrong. And sometimes when we're feeling so emotionally hurt or let down, then we do sort of lose rationale and we can't see the bigger picture. So it's important for you to actually speak to your daughter here. Forget about your son-in-law. That's something that maybe you may be able to see him for in the future, and have that conversation. Hey, how are you doing? You know, the odd message. You want to meet up for coffee? How's your life going? You know, if that's okay with your daughter, because don't forget that was your daughter's partner, not yours. He was only your son-in-law through your daughter, and they're not married, and there's no children to keep them together. So if he goes off on his way and you never see him again, you have to swallow that pill. But I certainly would approach your daughter immediately and apologise, what for, and be there for her. Because even though it may have been her decision to abort what you think is your grandchild, she may still be going through some trauma and she needs a mum. We always need our mums. I'm 47 and I still need my mum. So apologise for what you've done. Stop being so selfish and look after your child. And I know that might sound a bit harsh, but it's not your body, it's not your choice. Dear Aunty Nelly, I have a daughter who is 12 years old. Her father left us when she was 6 months old, so it was just me and her until she was 10. Then my fiance came along, 2 years ago. She's a wonderful girl and I love her so much, we both do. And it was wonderful to see how well she got on with my fiance. Everything was wonderful until we told her we were expecting a baby. Oh, I can see where this is going. Since then, she refuses to talk to us, she shouts, she slams doors. We've tried to tell her that it won't make any difference in her life between us. We'll still be the same and that she'll love the baby when it arrives. Oh, God. But any mention of the baby and she bursts into tears, surprise, surprise. I've got to a point where I could slap her. Christ, that escalated quickly. She's being so unlike my lovely daughter. She's ruining what should be one of the happiest times of our lives. What can we do? Stop talking about the baby. Number one. Okay, so it's always been you and your little girl, and then all of a sudden, out the blue, this fella walks in, and luckily for you, they get on, and now you're engaged, and now you're expecting a baby. You want to grow your family, and that's absolutely fine. But let's not forget that you've got a 12-year-old daughter, okay, who is, number one, all of a sudden gone from being you and her to you, her and fiancé. Only 2 years ago, so it still takes some adapting. Kids are very adaptable, but... And then all of a sudden, this new baby's going to come out of nowhere. She doesn't see a real dad. She thought she had a dad, and now this baby's going to come. Are you going to love her less? Are you going to push her out? Or you'll love the baby as soon as it comes? We need to stop talking about the baby, and we need to include this child as we always have done. Okay, so what we need to do is concentrate on this 12-year-old by saying, I know, so when she's shouting, slamming doors, screaming, crying, I need you to approach this with, I know that this really offends you and upsets you, but I promise you, I completely understand where you're coming from. We will still be having days out as mother and daughter. Baby will go to grandma's and it'll still be the three of us. Nothing's going to change. I would like you to be a part of that because you're going to be a big sister. However, if you don't want to be, that's also fine because you're not going to be the parent of that baby. I am. So I don't want you to feel that I'm going to be all the time with the baby and nothing with you. So you need to be telling her that she's still going to be made a priority. Number one, when she's kicking off, screaming and shouting. Number two, exactly what's she afraid of? What is she afraid is going to change? Have you actually asked her that? Because all you've said to her is, well, you'll love the baby when it's here. So it all seems to be baby, baby, baby. And I can understand that you're excited and it is a happy time. But this little girl is worried about what's going to change in her life. So maybe sit her down and tell her, because she hasn't got the emotional intelligence to understand. She's only 12, but she will have hormones and questions and worries and fears. So sit her down and speak to her. Every time she has an outburst, let her have an outburst. Let her. And then ask her why. Is it because you're frightened that, you've done so well and I'm so proud of you for allowing me to have a relationship and you get on so well when it was just me and you for 10 years. And now, in 2 years, you've got this fiancé who's living with us, and that's wonderful. And now we're going to bring a baby into the house. And I really can understand how that must absolutely blow your mind. I've pulled the rug from under your feet, and I'm sorry for that, but I haven't done it to hurt you. So let's me and you talk about the changes that are happening, because not everybody is good with change. I'm certainly not. Not everybody is good with change, so having that time with your daughter without baby talk, once a week, once every other day, an interest in her will make her then feel more comfortable, more at peace with, actually, not much is going to change. Don't speak about the baby. Wait for her to ask a question. So carry on making plans for the baby, going to your hospital appointments, buying the crib, buying the pram, choosing the names. Should she want to be a part of that, make sure that she wants to do that and tell her that. Say, look, I'm not going to talk about the baby anymore. I'm not. The baby's going to come when it comes and we'll deal with that when it does. But in the meantime, should you want to have a part of anything that's going on, then you're more than welcome, but I'm not going to force you to do that. So I'm not going to ask you to pick a baby name, I'm not going to ask you to come and look at a cot, a pram and help me decorating, because I don't want to offend you or upset you. You're my little girl, and I only want to now sit with you and have conversations with you that involve me and you, because I don't want you to think that I'm discarding you, because she might think like you're going to throw her away. It's a 12-year-old mind we're talking about here, and they think all sorts of weird and wonderful things. So concentrate on every outburst, letting it happen, and then addressing it. but also a dress with her, just you two, because it's been you two for a long time. I know that there's a lot of changes, and I know that you might be struggling with that. So let's talk about that. And anything you think might change, let me tell you whether you're right or wrong. Lots of quality time with your daughter before the baby comes, because it will be all baby, won't it? And if you don't sort it now, it's going to be really difficult when baby comes, because you won't have time as much then. And once again, when baby does come, it's about fiance maybe staying at home for a day with baby and you going out with daughter. So she still feels like she's got her mum and she's special to mum. Yeah? And don't push the baby on her either when the baby comes. I mean, there's hundreds of things I can say here. I could go on all day, but don't push the baby. So, you know, like, why don't you feed the baby? Why don't you change the baby? Just let her build her own relationship. Okay. Dear Aunty Nelly, my mum is driving me mad. Oh. The reason for this is she has to speak to me every day to make sure that we are all okay and catch up on any news. She will ring at the same time every day the minute I get in from work and talk on and on and on about the same thing she has said the day before. I know someone like that. If I'm not available, she just keeps ringing and ringing and ringing all evening, and she won't stop until I answer the phone. It's like a demand. It makes me think something is wrong when I see all the missed calls, so I cannot not take the risk and answer a call. She also has to arrange visits every week, like appointments, where we all sit there without much to say because we've spoken to her all week. How can I enjoy quality phone calls instead of quantity? You know, there's a thing where people say you'll miss your mum when she's gone, and there'll be hundreds of thousands of people, I should be so lucky, watching this who'll say you'll miss your mum when she's gone, you'll miss that phone call. And I completely agree with that, I really do. And our Joanne, I don't know if you've ever seen her, my mum, she rings me and she'll tell me something and I'll say, oh yeah, I know, you told me that. So what she does do, she continues to tell me the thing I've told her she's already told me. She just changes it so it sounds like a different tale. I've got used to it. Okay, so, is mum lonely? Does mum only live her life through her kids? I'm 47 and I still get a nighttime call with, good night sweetheart, is your front door locked, is your back door locked, are your windows closed? My brother doesn't get the same phone call because obviously he's male and he must be able to lock his front door, back door and windows, but he still gets a daily everything okay. As mums, we want to make sure that everything's okay. My mum has taught me not to be like her, so my daughter I do speak to once a week now, because when she first moved to London it was every day and we didn't really have much to say. So we have a FaceTime call once a week and it's lovely because it's a proper catch-up. On a daily basis, I don't have to wonder what Olivia's doing. I just go on her social media, I'll either see her Instagram stories or I see she's active now. So I know she's alive and breathing, unless someone's nicked her phone and is using her social media. So I understand what you're saying. So how about saying to mum, I love speaking to you, mum. You're my mum and I love you more than anything. And I know that you love me the same. Otherwise you won't be ringing me every day to ask how everything is. How about you ring me or I ring you when I've gone in from work, I've took my coat off, I've had a shower, I've had my tea and I've sat down and I'll give you a 10-minute phone call. How about we do that, mum? Every other day, and then when I do see you at weekend, we've got stuff we can talk about. So because sometimes I feel really bad that I can't talk to you like I'd like to because I'm rushing. So it's about still telling mum that she's okay to ring, but at a different time, maybe every other day, and then you've got something to check up on at the weekend, to catch up on. Because you can't stop a mum from checking up on her kids every day. You can't. It's impossible. That will never work. That's my true advice. But you can sort of change it so it becomes a little bit more quality than quantity. Okay? And She may be at home, retired, have nothing else going on in her life, and she just needs to make sure that you've walked through that front door and you haven't been killed on a tube or on a motorway, you've not been run over with a bus. You might think, that's a bit dramatic. That's how mum's minds works. That's how mum's minds works. And I'll tell you why. Olivia once went on a driving lesson. An hour of driving lessons used to be. This one particular day, she had a 2-hour driving lesson, which she didn't tell me about. I didn't know she'd gone off for 2 hours. Oh, I was sat in front room. I got Ryan from next door because I couldn't get through to her. Fuck me. I thought she'd been took up moors and killed and we were going to have to film Britain's Darkest Taboos. That's how mum's minds works. She walked through the door and I said, where have you been? She'd on my driving lesson. I said, 2 hours? She said, oh yeah, I had 2 hours today, I just didn't tell you. I could have fucking murdered him myself, never mind Britain's Darkest Taboos and getting murdered by a driving instructor. Fucking little bastard. But anyway, so yeah, that's how mums' minds work. We always jump to the worst place because we're mums, we're the lionesses, we look after our flock. Flock? Do lionesses? No, that's sheep. But anyway, it's Sunday. I'm just back. I'm back after my holidays. It's all right. So yeah, so I would say to Mum, don't ring me tomorrow. Have that phone call. Don't ring me tomorrow as I just walk through the door. I'll ring you because when I get in, I'm going to cook some tea, have a shower, and just before EastEnders starts, I'll give you a quick ring and then say, right, everything's fine. I'll give you a quick text tomorrow, let you know everything's fine. But how about we see on Saturday as planned, and then we've loads to talk about. And try and do that because you're not going to be able to stop your mum ringing you every day or texting you every morning, every night. It's just not going to happen because my mum doesn't. And even if I said to my mum, good morning mum, hope you're okay, I'll speak to you later. No problem, are you working? Yeah, I'm working, I'll ring you tonight. About 3 o'clock I'll get, hi love, are you okay? Yes mum, everything's okay. Okay. Why wouldn't we just send that just to appease them? Because otherwise they're having a frantic, it's crisis. I've told you about the time that I was in bed poorly, and I was poorly, and I slept, and mum hadn't heard from me. She'd rang me, she'd text me, she'd rang me, she'd text me, couldn't get hold of me. I opened my eyes and she was stood at foot in my bed. I'd just come up because I couldn't get hold of you, I thought you were dead. So, there we go. So, just have that little conversation. I want to speak to you every day because not only do you want to know if I'm okay, I want to know you're okay. But let me ring you once I've got settled and then I can't wait to see you at the weekend and we'll have a massive catch-up. I don't think you'll stop mum from phoning every day though. I just don't think mums do that. It's just not in our makeup. You know, like as you have a computer and it's got RAM and gig and stuff. It's just not, as a mum, it's just not in our makeup. The first thing I do in the morning is go on Instagram and look at Olivia's stories and I think, all right, she's all right, yeah, she's fine, or yeah, she's out walking. Because if she doesn't ring me or reply to my text messages, and this isn't something I can have a conversation with Olivia because she never has, so it's not something I can be upset about, she's never done it. At least I know she's alive and she's breathing and she's doing what she's doing. And then when we do our FaceTime, it's lovely. But believe me, this really isn't a massive problem in the world because believe me, when she's gone, and you'll be praying. You'll be praying for that phone call. You'd wish for that phone call. So even though it's a bit much and it's driving you mad, you only ever get one mum and believe me, you'll miss her when she's gone. Dear Aunty Nelly, I feel stuck. Oh, I once got stuck in Bath and a shower cubicle in Rome, but that's another story. She's stuck in a marriage, it's a bit different. I feel stuck in my marriage of 11 years. My husband works away and it's absolute bliss. But when he comes home, he just takes over and ruins everything. He picks up on all the things I haven't done whilst he's been away. I work full time, do all the housework, look after our 3 kids, 2 dogs and cat, Christ knows ark. And he just picks on everything, including the way I look. And he demands sex 3 times a day. Everything is either his way or no way. We argue, and when we do argue, he throws me out. Because he said everything in the house is his. Oh, I am running out of options. If I leave him, I will lose everything. Please help. I'm gone. He works away. He works away. And then everything's nice. But then when he comes home, he takes over everything. He tells you look like shit. You've not done the housework, and he wants to have sex with you 3 times a day. When you do argue, then he throws you out and says everything belongs to me. But you are running out of options because you said if you leave him, you'll lose everything. Okay, so let's have a look at what you're going to lose, because what I see here is if you do leave him, you'll lose verbal abuse, sexual abuse, humiliation, uncertainty, an extra load of work. And yeah, you're right, that's an awful lot to fucking lose. On the other hand, you could gain some self-respect, confidence, and a happy fucking home for you and your kids and animals. Come on, let's do the maths. It sounds like it's a fucking no-brainer to me. You're going to leave him and lose verbal abuse, sexual abuse, humiliation, uncertainty, or gain self-confidence, a happy home, self-respect, and very relieved atmosphere. Everything is. I don't really understand that. If you're married and have kids and you also work, how on earth is everything is? I mean, surely you keep the house when he's away. That means if you were to file for divorce, surely, you know, you'd get shared assets, things would be divided. You may have first choice on the house because he works away and you've got the kids. If you leave him, you're out of options. You're not fucking out of options. Fucking tell him he's no longer allowed home. When he goes off working away, change the fucking locks. Tell him you're no longer together because you've gained self-respect and confidence and it's now a happy home. And if he wants to see his kids, you'll kindly drop them off and then pick them back up while you're at home living your best fucking life. So what are you going to lose if you leave him? Fuck all. You've an awful lot to gain, Flower. An awful lot to gain. It's a no-brainer. Absolutely, Bronwyn Harrison. It's a no fucking brainer. Dear Aunty Nelly, I have been out with so many men. Ooh. So many men just... Oh no, I'm gone. I've read that. I can't read. Dear Aunty Nelly, I have been out with so many men. Some men just seem interested in sex. Some are very nice and good fun, but not ready to settle down. And some are simply not at all what I am looking for. Welcome to my world. I seem to have run through all the available men at work or in my neighbourhood. Fuck me. A friend suggested I try a dating app, but I'm not that desperate. What can you suggest? Oh, happy birthday, Julie! Oh my gorgeous Julie, it's her birthday today, Julie Blake. Happy birthday, princess. Are you saying that people that use dating apps are desperate? Is that what you're saying? Because just call me desperate fucking damn. Okay, so I am using a dating app at the moment. I'm on Bumble now. I'm not on Tinder, I got rid of it. But I'm on Bumble because I've been taking the advice of a very good friend of mine, Aaron John, the fairy godfather. And I've gone on Bumble. Right, so this is worrying though. You've run through all the available men at work or in your neighbourhood. I mean, how big's your fucking place you work and how fucking big's where you live? All of it? Christ on a bike, that's some fucking dating. Right, okay, stop dating. Do not go on a dating app. I don't want you to do anything like this. You are going from man to man to man and hoping that they're going to give you what it is you're looking for when you don't actually probably know yourself. So stop it. Delete the dating apps. Stop looking at fellas. Look the other way. I want you to do some work on yourself. There's something going on here because you're not telling me that there's not fucking one person on God's green earth that you've gone, oh, we might be all right. Lower your standards. Are you too shallow? When I say lower your standards, I'm not saying lower your standards. I'm just saying what have you got unrealistic expectations. So do some work on yourself. What is it you actually looking for? Are you looking to date, or are you looking to date for a relationship? Are you looking to date for marriage? If you're looking just to date for a one-night stand, that's also fine. But why are you doing all this dating? You're getting fuck all from it, so stop. And don't for 1 minute think that only desperate people are on dating apps, because there ain't nothing desperate about me, Flower. I know. Somebody said, I wish you'd wear more clothes. Do you know what, Judith? Off your fuck, Flower. I'll wear what I want in my fucking kitchen on a Sunday. Fuck off. So, what I want you to do is think, why am I dating? Why do I want somebody in my life? What do I bring to the table? Because I know what I bring to the table. That's why I'm not afraid to eat alone. Being on a dating app does not make me desperate. It just makes it the fact that I can weed out the wankers. I can have a conversation and go, hiya, Paul, how are you? Where are you from? What you looking for? Ah, you're not for me, Flower. Good luck swiping. Off you fuck. Rather than having to spend 2 hours stood at a bar talking to someone who's a fucking idiot and then can't hear them, and then you agree to a date and you've wasted your best foundation and your best perfume on a fucking idiot. So for me, dating apps work, but I don't think you're able to date for what you're looking for, because I don't think you know what you're looking for. So stop dating completely. Do some self-care, some self-love. Put down a list of pros and cons of being in a relationship. What do you get from a relationship? Is it a relationship you're looking for? Then when you start dating and you know what you're sort of looking for, see, it's like if I wanted to go camping and I'm looking for a tent, I'm going to go to a shop that sells tents because I know what I'm looking for. I'm not going to go to fucking, I don't know, a garden centre. They might sell tents there, but and buy a fucking Monstera plant. So once you know what it is you're actually fucking doing, then you can actually know what you're looking for. Therefore, then you can wheedle out these men, so you don't have to date them all, hoping they present something that you go, actually, I quite like that. No, you need to know what it is you want and what you like before you go for it. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Sometimes what I said does not always make sense, and that's okay. But please, please, please don't for 1 moment think that people using dating apps are desperate. And please, please, please never come on my platform and tell me that I'm not wearing enough fucking clothes because I'm sat in my own house on a Sunday doing Sunday service that I get fuck all for, don't get paid for it. I do it because I love my flower pots. I love being connected to my audience and my platform. Don't ever darken my platform and tell me what to do and when to do it, because it don't go down well. Off you fuck, there's the door, hashtag bye Felicia. Dear Aunty Nelly, when my stepchildren come to stay, the way they leave the stuff all over the house makes me fume. Fume means mad, makes me mad. And I end up falling out with my husband about it. I think it's so bad-mannered. But when I say anything, he says, why do I always spoil time with these kids? I don't want to upset anything. My husband and I argue about it all the time though, because I want him to make them tidy up and he won't. What can I do? Do you know what? It's an hard one, this one, because, you know, you've probably got a lovely home, you and your husband, everything's fine, and then the stepchildren come in and it's like a fucking volcano, isn't it? It's like there's shoes everywhere, socks everywhere, coats everywhere. They have a glass of water, they leave it outside, and you see, you probably see untidiness and bad manners, but what I'm seeing with age and with wisdom, I see it as children feeling like they're at home and comfortable in your company. So without realising, you know, that, and you getting mad about it and arguing with your husband, what they're actually saying is, this place is mine and I feel so comfy. Now, does it really matter if they're so untidy? Not really, because it'll tidy up. And he's right in a sense when he says, it's my quality time with my children. When my daughter was home for the week, I tidied up every day, but I didn't clean up every day. I did a massive big clean on Friday. Because it was quality time with my daughter. I didn't want to spend time fucking doing skirting boards because I don't see her all the time. So I get what your husband's saying. I get that. But also, we do need to instill manners into our future generation. So maybe you could say something that, rather than this is upsetting me, and you know, they make a fucking mess and I'm sick of it. Rather than doing that, you could do, you know, you could go without any criticism and change your tactics and say, rather than saying something like, God, this is such a mess, you're so untidy, maybe you could just say, sweetheart, would you mind just moving them shoes for me because somebody could fall over them? Or, are these your socks? Would you mind just putting them in your room for me? Thank you. So asking and congratulating them. And I think that really works with our youth. So, oh, would you just mind moving them shoes because I'd hate for you to fall over them. Thanks, sweetheart. We've done it in a calm way. We've done it in a manner where it's not going to offend everybody. You're not arguing. You're not being rude. You're just telling them that shoes don't belong there. Are these your socks? Okay. Would you mind just taking them to your bedroom for me? That's great. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Once we start doing that without it being sort of like defensive, an argument or rude, you know, you're instilling manners into our future generation, but also you're not upsetting anybody. And then it becomes a habit where they think, oh, I'll just move my shoes because I don't want to fall over them. So it's not sometimes how we approach things. And once again, please see it as untidiness is not bad manners. I don't see untidiness as bad manners. I see it as somebody thinking, I feel so comfortable here, it's my home, it's my place, it's okay. I don't see it as a disrespectful thing because you don't actually say that these kids do anything other than leave the shoes and socks lying about. So just approach it with, would you just mind doing that? Oh, thanks, sweetheart, I really appreciate that. Rather than, you're fucking kids coming here, messing up my house. Change your tactics, change the way you speak to them, always ask and thank, and I think you'll find it'll be a happier home. And socks do belong in the bedrooms, and as that child grows a bit older, it'll probably be under his bed, stiff. And on that note, that's been today's Sunday service. I hope you've all enjoyed it as much as I have, because I certainly have. I'll be back in the week with a few reviews, and I'll be back on Wednesday night for Night Time with Nelly. So, please keep writing into page for Sunday service night time with Barocca. Night time with Nelly. And any reviews, any requests for your reviews. And if anybody comments on your comments with win away, prize, gift, winner, it's a scam, don't fall for it. And yeah, I'll see you all soon. Wednesday night. Whatever you do with your day, enjoy. And hopefully I'll be able to jump on the gram for Ask Me Anything. I'm not promising. But if you want to join me there and ask me absolutely anything and come on a split screen, please do. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Mwah. Love each and every one of you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you've watched me from. And like I've just said, in the next 10 minutes or so, I'll see you live on the gram. Take care.